Shore Lodge, a high-stakes psychological thriller, the Millersville series, written by Susan Specht Oram, narrated by Robin McAlpine. 11. Jacqueline. In the morning, I head to the great room where a blazing fire gives off warmth. My hands are trembling. Sitting in a hard plastic chair, one of 6 arranged in a circle, my knees shake. I'd rather pound a pickaxe into rocky soil than be here. "Hello, Jacqueline," Dr. Henderson says. "Welcome." Putting a hand to my agitated stomach, I doubt I'll be able to open up about my feelings. Calm down, I tell myself. It's not a pack of wolves, but a group of grief-stricken strangers. Swallowing hard, I say, "Good morning. This is my first time in a group like this, so I might leave midway through. No offense meant to anyone, I'm just new at this." My skin is hot and prickly. I sit on my hands so I won't scratch my arms. All I want is to get out of this room without breaking down in front of these people. Taking a deep breath, I nod to the other participants. When the English professor and the engineer from yesterday's happy hour each smile in my direction, my tight shoulders relax. I settle a half-inch lower in my seat. Over by the bookcase, the trumpet player with large ears says in a low voice, "We've all been new to this at one time or other. It's not as bad as you think." Dr. H scratches his goatee. "And it might help you feel better." I suppress a groan and study a woman sitting with us. I didn't see her last night. She's brought a book with her and is picking at the spine, avoiding eye contact. Another reluctant emotional warrior is my guess. Perhaps I'm not as alone as I thought in this setting. "Let's get started," Dr. H says, "since we're all here." The others nod. We go around the room introducing ourselves, giving our names and where we're from. "Jacqueline," Dr. H says, "you're the newest member." Uh-oh, this doesn't sound good. I squirm in my seat and hope he won't ask me to speak up first. I'm not in the mood to bare my soul. He looks me in the eye. "Why don't you share a bit about yourself and tell us why you're here?" Putting my hand to my mouth, I let out a long breath. My feet are perspiring. An inner voice whispers what I'd like to say but don't. "Skip over me, pretend I'm a potted rubber plant. Go on with your meeting, I'll be a silent member." Although I want to blend into the gray carpet as an observer, I nod and heed the call for change. Jiggling my crossed leg, my left foot bobs. "Come on," I tell myself, "try it just this once." Clearing my throat, my mouth is dry. I leap into the unknown and say, "I lost my husband 8 months ago." Glancing at the others, I'm heartened to see they're nodding in sympathy, so I continue. What gutted me most was that he didn't want to be revived. I pause to see how they're taking this. The engineer and the trumpet player raise their eyebrows, but the English teacher wipes her eyes. The bookworm pulls out a tissue and blows her nose. So far, I haven't overshared. "Go on, Doctor, if you like. All feelings are safe in this space." My throat is clogged with tears, but I might as well continue. In a wavering voice, I say, "I'm guilty about so many things. The fact that I didn't save him, that I didn't know he had heart problems, that I didn't know he was giving money away. After he died, I learned our marriage, which was founded on deep mutual trust, was a lie." Out of my mouth comes a keening moan. I'm sobbing. My shoulders are shaking like a car going over railroad tracks. After a while, I hiccup and wipe my eyes. To my surprise, I feel better, having opened the tomb of despair. But what are they making of my emotional outburst? "Sometimes people do things that perplex those left behind," Dr. H says. "But it doesn't mean they didn't love you. Perhaps he wanted to keep you from learning about his health concerns so you wouldn't worry. Is that possible?" I tilt my head, considering his words. It's possible. Whooshing out a breath, it's a relief to talk about what happened and have support. I should have done this sooner and not kept to myself all winter. "How long were you married?" Dr. H says. I wipe away tears. 33 amazing years. Excellent, except for deceiving me about giving money away, I think to myself. Well, that's what matters most, isn't it? Not the second guessing after death, the what I should have done, could have done, why didn't he tell me something, or the negative stories we tell ourselves that wear us down. We must remember the good parts and allow ourselves to heal. Our loved ones would want that, wouldn't they? Dr. Henderson pauses and looks around the room. We're all nodding and saying, "That's right." I sigh. How short-sighted I was to avoid being part of a grief support group until now. It's not a club I ever wanted to join, the survivors of death, but I'm finding comfort in their company. Jacqueline, thank you for sharing, Dr. Henderson says. Who would like to go next? 12. Jacqueline. After a lunch of curried lentil soup and what tastes like fresh-baked whole wheat bread in my room, I yawn and crawl into bed to take a nap. The chamomile tea they served has made me sleepy. I'll haul the meal tray out to the corridor later. I called the front desk to ask for coffee, but no one brought it. The same thing happened at breakfast. Maybe they ran out. Reliable workers must be hard to find on this 5-mile-wide island. Cedar Island has 400 full-time residents, and the channel acts as a moat around a castle. When the ferry shuts down at night, the drawbridge is up until the next day. Unless, of course, you own a boat. Albert and I sold ours last year. We were preparing to buy an RV and take trips. Those plans have blown up like Mount St. Helens, and all I have left are ashes. Looking around, I decide the room is fine. I'm not a fancy person with expensive tastes who needs a fireplace in the room or a soaking tub. The only thing I'd change is the painting hanging above the dresser. My kids meant well, but Albert's portrait doesn't resemble the man I married. His beady brown eyes follow me around the room, making me feel watched and judged. I'm doing the best I can, I say to Albert. Stop watching me so I can get some rest. You left too soon. You should have stayed alive. My body is heavy and my head sinks into a soft pillow. Closing my eyes, I focus on my breathing, in through my nose and out through my mouth. Soft footsteps pad across the carpet. I open my eyes and sit up with a jolt. A young woman with flowered tattoos on her arms and a pierced upper lip picks up my lunch tray. My muscles tense. What are you doing in here? Taking your tray? Knock first. Don't just walk in. She disappears out the door. The staff shouldn't traipse into my room like it's on a hiking trail. She must not be well trained. I hop out of bed and search for a Do Not Disturb sign to post on the door, but don't find one. When I check the door lock, it works, but there isn't a chain or a deadbolt for extra protection, making me question whether I want to stay tonight. Scanning the room, I notice what might be a surveillance device mounted near the overhead light fixture. I drag the armchair over and stand on the cushion, staring into a lens. A chill runs up my spine. Hello? If this is a surveillance camera, it's against the law. I grab a t-shirt, wrap it around the lens, and get off the chair. Crossing my arms, I take stock of the situation. I've been confused, so I might have imagined a young woman coming in my room or dreamed it happened. But the lunch tray is gone. What I suspect is a surveillance camera could be a smoke alarm, except there's a round smoke alarm with a blinking green light in the corner on the ceiling. They wouldn't have two in the same room. My heart thumps. If this is a secure facility and they're observing me, I've got to get out of here. I won't let people watch me. I grab my duffel and stuff clothes into it. I'm not safe with people coming in the room, so I'm getting the HE double hockey sticks out, as my grandson would say. Footsteps stop outside the door. Someone knocks and I freeze. Go away, I say. Their employees need training in basic customer service, like respecting a guest's privacy. If I was in charge, I'd shape this place up in a hurry. The door swings open anyway. Putting my hands on my hips, I wonder who has the nerve to come into my room when I said no. The service here is below subpar. I'll give them a 1-star rating on Yelp when I get home and leave cutting remarks. I'll mention my suspicions about having a video camera in the room and say it's creepy, sick, and wrong. Dr. Henderson stands in the doorway, blocking my exit. His furrowed eyebrows and frown give him a stern look. My skin tingles. I don't trust him because of how he barged in. His appearing right after I covered up what I think is a lens could be a coincidence, but I suspect not. Face heating with anger, I say, "I won't have people walking into my room without permission, and you can't watch me." I jab a finger at the camera. "I'm leaving." He points to where my t-shirt is tied around the device on the ceiling and says in a calm, measured manner, "You're not allowed to block our observational lens." Hairs on the back of my neck stand on end. It is a camera. I grab my duffel and sling my purse over my shoulder, moving to the door. "You ought to be ashamed of yourself for watching like a pervert. Get out of my way. I'm leaving." "We're allowed to observe you for therapeutic purposes. Your son signed the papers." "Dusty wouldn't do that. You're making it up. You're lying." "Your son admitted you," he says in a quiet voice. "He was concerned about you and reached out. He said you needed help." At the word admitted, my hands turn cold and clammy. "I came here as a guest to stay for a few days. You've got your facts wrong." He tugs on his goatee and looks me in the eye. "I recommended that you have full-time on-site care." My jaw drops open. "That's nuts. There's nothing wrong with me. Now step aside. I'm going." Shaking his head, he spreads his arms and stands in the doorway. "You've been admitted to this facility. You can't leave." As the pieces fall together, I put a hand to the wall to steady myself. My breath comes in quick puffs. I can't believe my kids tricked me into coming here. I was a trusting fool, happily going in his truck while they took me for a ride. Hoping I heard wrong, I say, "My son did this?" He nods. "He has medical power of attorney. He's concerned for your welfare." Sweat trickles down my armpits as I realize what Dusty did. The unthinkable. I choke out words. "He can't." "He did because he loves you." Dr. Henderson's eyebrows go up and he cocks his head as if willing me to accept my fate. "Our facility is designed to support residents like you, and your son trusted us with your care." The words "residents like you" and "your care" make me hold my breath. This can't be true. He wouldn't do that. Bending over, I put a hand to my acidic stomach. I can't be admitted. But I was. Coming to my full height, I stare at him. "I've changed my mind. He can't make decisions for me, so you can't keep me here." Dr. Henderson says, "We have the paperwork showing you gave him power of attorney. He has the right to make medical and financial decisions for you." Looking into his blue eyes, my knees buckle as my new reality sinks in. I fall to the floor. His clove-scented deodorant makes me gag. Although he looks calm, he must be perspiring. I can't draw a decent breath. With a moan, I say, "That was in case I became mentally incapacitated, which was never going to happen. It was a safeguard in case of a car crash or something cataclysmic like that. Not for using on a poor, innocent widow who happens to be his mother." "We think you'll enjoy living here," Dr. Henderson says. I shake my head. Dusty did this. I thought he'd changed after his father died and trusted him with my life. My back smarts. Rubbing it, I have a dawning realization. Dusty is aware his dad left me with years to work and to earn back the money he gave away. He knows my savings account has been depleted. My son and my husband took advantage of me, and yet I had no idea what was going on. How could I have been so stupid? I stand and pick up my purse with shaking hands. "I'm of sound mind. I'm going home." He opens his hands and says in a quiet voice, "I'm afraid it's not possible." My body turns stone cold. This can't be. I couldn't bear it. Pointing a finger, I say, "You can't keep me here against my will." His legs are spread apart as if taking up as much space as he can to block my exit. "We can, And we will. A tall woman built like a refrigerator appears behind Dr. Henderson. Her blue name tag shows Ms. Wright in white letters. Do you need assistance? Staring at me, he says, I may. Be ready just in case. The woman clamps her jaw shut and crosses her arms, watching me. The two of them are sentries keeping me inside. I slump against the wall and let my purse fall to the floor. My head throbs with a piercing headache. I've got to stand up for myself and send a clear message. I don't care what my son signed. My voice gets louder as I shout. I don't deserve to be here. I can't be admitted. She's not going quietly, is she? The woman says under her breath. This could be a difficult case. Dr. Henderson strokes his goatee, which I'd like to chop off with a sharp pair of grass clippers. I'll send in a maintenance worker to make sure your camera's working. Take care, and we'll speak again soon. Let me out! I shout, spit flying. Let me out right now! Dr. Henderson closes the door softly. 13. Jacqueline. Staring at the closed door, my mind is a jumble of thoughts. My kids urged me to come here and must think I'm a mess, but I'm not. I'm recovering from shock. I should have stayed home with my dog. I'm fine, just absent-minded. I can recover at my house and by working in the store. I thought they understood that. My gut churns and I put a hand to my stomach. Betrayals lump together. I can't trust my daughter or my son or the staff here. I'm not even sure I trust myself. Shrugging on my sheepskin jacket, I lace up my hiking boots and pull my purse over my shoulder, leaving the duffel and my clothes. I can replace those, but not my sanity. I stride past a vacant reception desk and pad along a carpet that smells like a grove of cedar trees. Outside, I run for the ferry dock about a mile away. I'll catch the next ferry to town. Jogging down the gravel road, I hear Albert's voice in my head telling me, "You're a strong woman, as tough as iron. You can make it." Turning west, I dash for the ferry as fast as I can. Panting hard, I see the boat idling at the dock. Wisps of black smoke are coming out of the smokestack. Cars are driving on. It looks as if the boat is getting ready to depart. Pulling out my cell phone, I slow down enough to call Mary. When she answers, I say, "It's Jacqueline. I'll be on the next ferry from Cedar Island. Can you pick me up and take me home?" "Sure thing," she says. "How's it going?" She's speaking slowly and doesn't understand my urgent situation. When I hear a piercing dog whistle, I look back. 2 young men in black t-shirts are coming after me. A car drives my way, kicking up dust. I quicken my pace. "I don't have time to talk. My kids put me in Shore Lodge." I burst into tears. It hurts to think about it. "What's going on?" she says. Heading for the boat that will carry me home, I puff out quick breaths. "I'll explain it to you when you meet me. Come to Shore Lodge if I'm not on the next ferry." Before she can reply, I hang up and bolt for the ferry boat. In 6th grade, I was the fastest kid at hurdles. A surge of adrenaline courses through me as I sprint ahead. Ferry workers in reflective vests mill about preparing to depart. I must get off the island before Shore Lodge staff catch me. The last car drives down the ferry's metal loading ramp. Just a few more yards to go. I'm almost there. "Don't leave without me," I call, waving my arms to get a worker's attention. My leg muscles cramp, but I hobble ahead. It's not far, about 3 car lengths away. I can make it. I'm almost to the loading ramp when 2 young men in Shore Lodge t-shirts step in front of me, blocking my path. A tall, big-boned man says in his squeaky high voice, "Stop right there." His helium-soaked voice distracts me. I stumble and quick hands grasp my wrists. When I jerk away, they wrench my arms behind my back. I'm fighting for all I'm worth, trying to shake them off, but they're not letting me go. My pulse pounds in my ears, and I can't believe this is happening. All the freedoms I took for granted loom out of reach at a moment when I'm being manhandled. This is outrageous how they're treating me. Strong hands grip me, making it impossible to flee. When I scream with all I've got, a high-pitched voice says, "Quiet down, don't make a scene." I yell as hard as I can, but a hand covers my mouth, cutting off my air. Biting into warm, soft flesh, I let out a banshee howl, hoping it'll bring others to my aid. Damn it, she bit me! The hand drops from my mouth. The other man still holds my arms behind my back, making my shoulders ache like they're about to pop out of their sockets. This isn't how to treat a grieving widow. I shake my body from side to side, trying to throw them off. Get off me! I yell. Just then, a black sedan with tinted windows skids alongside and stops. We're going to put you in the car, a young man says. Hell no, I say, fighting for all I'm worth. I've got to get on the boat before it takes off. Breaking away, I kick with my feet and punch with my fists, connecting with chins and shins. But when I take 2 steps toward the ferry, they grab me. The men shove me into the back seat of a black sedan. No, I say, scrambling to get out. The door slams in my face. When I lunge for the door latch, the locks click shut. I yank on the door handle, but the childproof lock must be on. The door won't open. Stuck in a coffin-like car, inhaling a man's deodorant, my body breaks out in a cold sweat. I want to get out. The car keeps moving. Taking shallow, quick breaths, I say, "Take me to the ferry." The driver glances in the rearview mirror. It's Dr. Goatee. With a roar of acceleration, he zips along the shoreline road and heads toward the lodge. My knees tremble at how helpless I am under their thumb. My life isn't my own. How quickly that has changed. I broke the rules I didn't agree to, and now they're punishing me. Help! Help me get out! I'm trapped! The silence is deafening. I'm all alone, with no one coming to my aid. I'll have to rescue myself. I'll jump out of the window while the car is moving. When I hit the window button, nothing happens. Cussing, I push it over and over until my thumb hurts. Pounding on the window, I say, "This is wrong! You're holding me hostage! Let me out!" When I collapse against the seat, the car is quiet. The padded leather upholstery absorbs sound. Smells like a new car. Slumping, I let out a whimper. My fists ache, my body is bruised and hurts. Dr. Henderson says in a soothing voice, "Are you ready to go back?" I grit my teeth. I'd rather be buried alive than return to Shore Lodge. Hell no! When I let out a blood-curdling scream, he glances in the rearview mirror and raises his eyebrows. Tears run down my cheeks at how I have no say. This can't be real. I'm being abducted and taken back to Shore Lodge. I pinch my left hand to be sure I'm not dreaming, but to my horror, I'm awake. This shouldn't be happening to me. I'm a store owner. I'm a nobody. Why did I get singled out? What about my children who said they loved me? They're to blame for my sitting in this tank of a transport car. My kids did this to me, and my husband too, by passing away too soon after he trained my son to take. A burst of anger surges through my body. I lash out, gouging and clawing the leather seats with my fingernails. I'm hell-bent on destruction and finding my way out. 14. Rose. Rose reached into the dryer and pulled out Max's jeans. He'd been running around playing with her friend Chris's son, and although he was smiling, Rose wasn't. She was worried about how Jacqueline was doing on Cedar Island and wondered if they'd made the right decision when Dusty admitted her. Taking Max to a playground, her phone, tucked into her jeans pocket, chimed and alerted her to an incoming text. She stared at the screen. Her boss had texted to say she needed to talk right away. Rose cocked her head. Really? She'd been clear about needing to take a few days off to check on her mother. "Watch me," Max said. "I will," she said as she called Joan, her overworked boss. Keeping her eyes on Max, she held the phone to her ear. "Hi, Joan, what's up?" "I need you in the office today." Rose's eyebrows shot up. "I can't. I need to stay and make sure my mom's okay." "News doesn't wait for family issues to resolve. We've got a ticking clock and I need to issue a press release tomorrow morning before the stock market opens." "I'm sorry, but I can't," Rose said, shaking her head. "My mom needs me." "This isn't a request, it's an order. It's all hands on deck." Whoa, Joan was amped up, as if she'd had 5 shots of espresso. Rose studied the trunk of a cedar tree and considered how to answer. She wanted to stay in town to monitor how her mother was doing at Shore Lodge. Nothing was as important as her mom. I can't leave. I'll be back Monday like we agreed. What's so urgent? I'll give you the details when you get here. We can't have rumors driving the stock price up or down before the press release goes out. Rose bit her lip and hoped her boss would change her mind. She didn't want to leave. It was too soon. What if her mother hated Shore Lodge? She and her brother would have to make other arrangements. They couldn't just leave her there if she didn't like it. I need you in the office drafting a press release, Jones said, and routing it for approval this afternoon. This is why I hired you. Do you want to keep your job? Rose gasped. In a beat of silence, she reconsidered. As the breadwinner for her family of two, she needed this job, but she wanted to watch over her mother from nearby. She couldn't leave now. It sounds super important, but so is my family. Max waved from the top of the slide. She nodded to him. As much as she needed this job, her mother needed her more. But then again, her mom was being taken care of at Shore Lodge, and Dusty would check in, giving Rose updates by text like he'd been doing over the last 8 months. She had to keep this job to pay rent and serve Max more than scrambled eggs and pancakes for dinner. Not to mention, the position was a few rungs up on the corporate ladder she'd always envisioned herself climbing all the way to the top. This was the start of her career, the one she'd put off in Max's early years to raise him. She couldn't walk away from it. I was clear about this when I hired you, Jones said. It's a demanding job. If you can't handle it, I'll replace you. Rose's pulse quickened. Why don't I work remotely? A hard no on that request. I need butts in the seats working on site, ready for meetings at a moment's notice. Are you coming in or not? I've got 5 other people I can call right now to take your place. Rose's stomach fluttered. She'd been lucky to land the communications specialist position, which Joan had said was a path to a director position if she did well. No, don't do that. I'll come in. It sounded like her boss was typing on a keyboard, and Rose hoped she wasn't emailing possible replacements for her job. Jones said, When will you be here? Seeing her son coming down the slide, Rose realized she'd have to take him into work with her, which would be a combustible event. He was full of energy and wouldn't fit into an office environment. I'll have to bring my son. It's spring break, and I can't get a babysitter on short notice. Bring him with you and bring a book or something for him to do. Rose cringed, picturing him drawing on the walls at work when her back was turned and he was bored. He's not really a book type, more of an outdoors climbing kind of kid. Bring an iPad or have him watch television. Just get here as soon as you can. We'll hammer out this release ASAP. It's material market-moving news. Understood. I'll be there around 4 if traffic is light. Joan hung up, and Rose stared at her phone. As Max ran over to her, she knew she'd made the right decision. She had to keep her job and provide for her son. Come on, buddy, she said. We've got to drive back to Seattle. He frowned. Now? I know. I wanted to stay here longer, too. Let's see how fast we can pack up our stuff. We can stop at Mickey D's on the way out of town. Protein might help calm Max's wiggly wobbles at work. If not, her boss would toss them both out of the office later today. She crossed her fingers and hoped for the best. 15. Jacqueline. 2 young men frog-march me from the elevator on the 2nd floor and down a hall. I struggle to free my arms, which are pinned behind my back. When I spit in their faces, they cuss under their breath. Fingers dig into my flesh, telling me they're in charge. Willing victim is not on my resume, so I stumble along, making it as hard as I can for them as they drag me ahead. She's no featherweight, the man with the high-pitched voice says. No need to lift barbells tonight, the other says. As we approach a room with an open door, they shove me inside. The door slams shut and locks with a loud click. I bend over, panting and out of breath. My wrists hurt and my body aches. I've landed on the 2nd floor. Just the place I wanted to avoid. Going to the door, I turn the handle, but it doesn't open. I give the door a hard kick, but that hurts my toe, bringing stars of pain to my eyes. I pound on the door with my fists and rage until my throat is raw. There's nothing wrong with me. There's been a massive mistake. My legs give out and I fall to the floor sobbing. My kids don't love me. I don't deserve this, I say to the door. As I wail, a thought pierces my heart. Dusty, Rose, and my husband turned against me. A yipping sound escapes from my mouth. Someone knocks on the door. Settle down in there or we'll have to restrain you. I open my eyes but can barely see. My throat hurts from screaming. Wiping my nose with the back of my hand, I stand up and look around. The painting of my husband hangs on the wall. My clothes are hung in the closet as if I live here. They certainly were efficient moving me so quickly. Shaking my head, I can't fathom why my son and daughter wanted me to come here. My chin quivers and tears streak my cheeks as I examine the angry scratches on my arms and legs from resisting the two men. I was desperate to catch the ferry, fighting for my life. When I smacked the tall guy's nose with the heel of my hand, he yelped. I turned and kicked the other man's kneecaps. He crumpled to the ground but popped back up. Clenching my teeth, I wish I'd been faster when I ran. I shouldn't have slowed to make a phone call but raced for the boat. I bet the lodge staff wouldn't have marched me off public transport like an escaped convict. The image would cause Shore Lodge's reputation to explode, burning like a juniper tree in a wildfire. I half smile, picturing a mob from Millersville protesting with picket signs. Then they'd have to release me. Letting out a loud, spluttering breath, I try to calm myself. This room is a white box. My kids know I hate being in stuffy places. I massage my tight jaw. My children have no concept of what it's like to lose your lover, best friend, and business partner in a few seconds. Instead of being in this room, I want to be home with Buddy. My throat is tight, but I won't break down in tears. I need my energy to figure out how to get home. Scanning the room for something to use, I notice instead of the rustic timber furniture downstairs, this room has a white dresser, a white bedside table, and a twin bed with a metal frame. On the first floor, it must be voluntary admission. The college professor, floor layer, trumpet player, and others I met looked relaxed. I agreed to come here, so I suppose it's partly my fault I'm in a depressing room on the second floor. I squint. If it's a showdown on Cedar Island, I'll win. No matter what Dusty, Rose, and Shore Lodge have planned, I'll find a way to get home to Buddy, my sweet dog. He's my everything now that Albert is gone. 16. Jacqueline. My hands tremble as I pull out my cell phone to call my friends to ask for help. I dial Fred, who's an attorney, and tap my foot while I wait for him to pick up. The door opens. A tall, middle-aged woman in a white dress and sneakers steps into the room. She's the one I saw earlier behind Dr. Henderson, who was ready to grab me if I was out of line. Her blue name tag shows Ms. Wright. If she's Ms. Right, then I'm Ms. Wrong. Nothing is going my way today. She holds out her hand. Give me your cell phone. Residents can't have them on the second floor. They're not allowed. I'm still on the phone calling Fred. At the beep, I leave a hurried message. Help, it's Jacqueline. I'm in a locked room at Shore Lodge on Cedar Island. Ms. Wright clamps a hand around the device. That's enough of that. Wrestling her for it, I say into the phone, Get me out! I've been admitted! Help! We're well matched, and I'm not sure if Ms. Wright or I will win. My cell is my only hope of leaving this wretched place. Gripping with fingertips, I'm grunting from the effort. This device is my lifeline to town. It has all my contacts. I'd be lost without it. Ms. Wright snatches the cell and slips it into her pocket. Learn to follow orders, she says, and we'll get along. She walks out. The door closes and locks. Hammering on the door, I say, Give me my phone! No response. This is inhumane! Leaning against the door, I say, I'll report you to the Attorney General's office. An idea occurs to me and I stop yelling. If they took the phone, they'll come for my laptop next. I turn on my laptop and type an email to Mary, Bernice, and Fred. Come to Shore Lodge on Cedar Island. I'm locked in. Help. When I press send, a message pops up. Internet connection not available. Sweat trickles down my armpits. Come on, I say to the computer. This is an emergency. I toggle to the internet access setting and find a Shore Lodge network, which is password protected. Typing in the words Cedar Island, Shore Lodge, guest, and retreat, nothing works. There's no Wi-Fi connection for inmates on the second floor. Feet perspiring in my socks, I hit the send button over and over, hoping to hear the swoosh of a sent email. Nothing. I'm cut off from my community. Why? I say with a lump in my throat, speaking to the white room. It makes no sense. How did this happen? Tears streaming down my face, I wonder if I'd be in this place if I'd been home more when my kids were young. I could have cut back my work hours, but the store was busy and someone always called in sick. Albert was the designated primary parent at home by mutual agreement. He got to be the good time dad, and I ended up being Lucretia McEvil, the one who was at the store. Look where that behavior left me, without a family. Turning to Albert's dour painting, I say, "You put Dusty before our retirement plans. Why did you give him so much money and squander our savings?" Blowing my nose, I acknowledge I won't get the answers I seek. Down the hall, someone closes a door, bringing me back to the stark reality of being in a secure ward. I walk around, hoping to find a way out. When I pull on the window to slide it open, 6 screws hold it in place. Resting my forehead against the cool glass, I wonder if any patients have escaped. If not, I'll be the first, even if I die trying. My pulse pounds in my ears while I mull over what my son did. I shouldn't have been admitted. Nothing's wrong with me. I bang on the window. Help! Let me out! Down below, a landscaper cuts the grass, but I can't catch her attention. I grab my hairbrush and pound on the glass with the plastic handle. Rap, rap, rap. Help! The landscaper is wearing headphones while cutting the grass with a power mower. She doesn't look up. I doubt she can hear me. Besides, the lodge probably tells groundskeepers not to interact with residents. My breathing is shallow. I'm feeling lightheaded, so I put my head between my legs. I focus on happy times, like running on the beach with Albert and throwing sticks for Buddy to chase. Breathe in, breathe out. Stay calm. Think of something. After a while, I feel better. I get on the floor and do my daily 40 push-ups and sit-ups. I've got to be strong if I'm going to get out of here. I try the door and rattle the knob, but it's locked. Standing at the window, I look toward the channel and wonder how my shop is doing without me. Working in the store is as necessary as blood pumping through my heart. My identity is wrapped up in the store. When no one else can locate the fern misters, I'm the one who knows where they're shelved, by the rubber plants. But here I am, a mile away, across the water, and unable to go to work. Ms. Wright might as well have chained me to the wall, and damn my son for admitting me. As I pace the room, Albert's eyes follow me. I shake a fist at him. It's his fault I'm in this sterile, clinical place instead of at home. 17. Dusty. When his phone rang, Dusty pulled his cell out of his back pocket but didn't recognize the number. The call might be about his mother, so he answered. Hello? This is Ms. Wright at Shore Lodge. I'm calling about your mother. His heart skipped a beat. Is everything okay? I'm afraid not. Your mother ran away, but we brought her back. He tightened his grip on the phone. His mother, like the plants she sold, needed fresh air to survive. Growing up, Dusty thought everyone kept the windows flung open for fresh air, only closing them during driving rainstorms. She hates being stuck inside, he said. She must have been desperate. She's a fast runner. Our staff had to race to catch her before she boarded the ferry. He scratched his chin, picturing his mom caught like a stray dog by a dog catcher. How's she taking it? Not well. She's angry. He wondered if he'd made a mistake by admitting his mother to a facility, but her kitchen and bathroom were filthy. Blackened pots sat on the stove, and she'd had a fender bender. There'd been a screw-up in her payroll. She'd forgotten her name at Dr. Taft's office, which was a major milestone in her downhill slide. He couldn't sit by and wait until there was one mistake too many. What if she drove into another car and killed someone? She's been moved to a secure room, Ms. Wright said, on the second floor. Dusty groaned. What can I do to help? We'd like you to come in and talk with her. Dr. Henderson says that may help calm her down. He evaluated her and judged her to be not of sound mind. We've been avoiding using restraints or sedatives at your request. He winced as a headache throbbed. But we'll have to if she continues to struggle. Dusty cringed, picturing his mother being miserable and howling, bound to a bed, or even worse, drugged and drooling. I'll be on the next ferry. Please don't do anything until I get there. 18. Rose. Rose held Max's hand as they walked into the lobby of Ralsted Corporation near the waterfront in downtown Seattle. She tapped her photo ID badge on a device outside the elevator and pushed the button to go up. Ding! The elevator arrived. Can I see it? Max said, reaching for her badge. She slid the lanyard over her neck. Not today. My boss is waiting. As they stepped onto the elevator, she said to him, Go ahead, push the button for the 7th floor. Max pressed his finger on it and stood beside her. Going up, she patted her son's shoulder. She hoped the books and iPad in his backpack would occupy him while she met with her boss, drafted a press release, and routed it for approval. The process would take hours. We're going to have a good time at work, right? You'll let me know if you get bored. He looked up at her. Why are we here and not with Grandma? She blew out a breath. A special project came up and they need our help. What do they do here anyway? Biotechnology, developing drugs to help people. His eyes grew wide. Drugs? Medicines for people who have serious diseases, arthritis, cancer, heart disease like Grandpa Albert had. The elevator doors opened to the 7th floor, where corporate communications and the chief executive officer's offices were located. Ushering Max past the CEO's office, Rose whispered to her son, Inside voices. Down the hall, her boss, Joan, was saying in a loud voice, I want the answer now. We can't wait an hour. This isn't academia where you can rewrite an article 50 times before submitting it to a publication. Get me that number. Fast. She's not using an inside voice, Max said. That's my boss, so she can talk however she likes. Up to a point, she thought. There had to be a line she would draw where she wouldn't put up with being shouted at and verbally abused. If that happened, she'd have to make a choice. Stay and eat her standards or walk away with her sanity and dignity intact. Let's go see her, she said. You can meet Joan. I'm not sure I want to, he whispered. Speeding him down the hall, she whispered back, Just a quick hello, then we'll get you settled in. As Rose knocked on the open office door, Joan slammed down the phone. You're late, Joan said, glancing at a clock on the wall. We ran into traffic, Rose said. I got here as soon as I could. This is my son, Max. Max peeked out from behind Rose. Hi. Max, wonderful to meet you. Let's find you a place to sit down, then your mom and I have lots of work to do. Let me know if you get hungry and we can order a pizza. Max glanced at his mom. Pizza? Joan stood up. You like pepperoni? Yeah. Good. I do too. Joan charged ahead in high heels and a lilac pantsuit toward a vacant office. Tim's on vacation, so you can use his office. He's got a television if you want to use it. Keep the volume low, though, because we're working on top secret stuff and we need to concentrate. Top secret, Max said with a smile. When he was seated in an executive swivel chair, Rose heaved a sigh of relief. Max was set for the time being, and behind her boss's crusty exterior was a softy with a big heart for kids. So far, at least. Come on, Joan said to her. Let's meet in my office. I'll drop my purse in my cubicle and be right in. 19. Jacqueline. Hearing voices in the hall, I grab my toothbrush as a weapon. I'll incapacitate whoever comes in and slip out. I've never hurt anyone in my life until coming here, but it's time to lower my standards and preserve my sanity by escaping. The door creaks open. Ms. Wright stands in the hallway in her white dress, frowning. Sucking in my stomach, I try to slip past her, but there isn't an inch of room to go by. She plucks the toothbrush from my hand and tucks it in her pocket. When I surge ahead to get to the hall, Ms. Wright's wooden block of a body halts me in my tracks. It's as if I ran into a brick wall. She grips my shoulders and guides me into the room. "Here we go, Jackie." Although my attempt was foiled, I'm optimistic. I'll find another way out. In the meantime, I don't like her condescending tone. "My name is Jacqueline, and don't speak to me like I'm a child. You're under our care and we have rules to follow. Get that straight and we'll be fine. If not, we'll take steps to ensure you're compliant." I cringe, wondering what measures they might use. I don't even want to know. Someone knocks on the door. Ms. Wright offers a tight smile. "I believe your son is here to see you." My stomach twists. I need to talk some sense into him so he'll let me go back to town, to my yellow bungalow and to Buddy, my dog. When Dusty comes into the room, she steps aside and leaves, closing the door. He frowns as if I did something wrong. "How are you doing?" "Horrible. How could I not be? You and Rose lied to me. How could you do this to your own mother?" "We want you to get the best care available. You need to get well." My body trembles. I'm afraid of my own son. He holds all the power. "At your core, you're a decent person," I say. "I know that because you helped me these last months. Dig deep within yourself, find that honorable person, and release me from this place." He opens his hands. "We're doing this because we love you. We're concerned about you." My jaw tightens. Either he's lying or I'm mentally incapacitated and unaware of it, which I doubt. "You wouldn't have admitted me if you loved me. I didn't sign up for this. I want to go home." He gazes out the window and ignores me. Rose wouldn't treat me as if I'm invisible, or would she? Everything changed after I set foot in Shore Lodge. "Where's your sister?" "I'm not sure. She didn't answer my call or texts, but I know she loves you, like I do." "I need to be with Buddy and working at the store. This place is a palace compared to the other places I toured. You're lucky they had an opening." Going to the door, I knock until my knuckles hurt. "I'd like to leave." He clears his throat. "You need to get better." Gesturing with my hands, I say, "You've trapped me and left me to die. You've abused my trust. I never should have given you power of attorney when you asked for it." He cocks his head. "Did you run away to get my attention? If so, I'm here." With a groan, I try to get through to him one more time. "Sign the papers and release me." The door opens and Ms. Wright comes in. She crosses her arms and stands near me. With stale coffee breath, she says, "Jackie, you have visitors. We're sure you'll want to see them." Her false, cheery tone grates on my nerves. If I sounded like that in my store, customers would skewer me on social media, sales would drop, and my shop would close. She says to my son, "Dr. Henderson said it'll help your mother settle in and feel at home if her friends visit for a short while." I nod and half smile, suddenly filled with hope. My emotions have been all over the place since I landed in this locked room. I'm sure my friends will straighten out the misunderstanding and my nightmare will be over soon. Despite what Ms. Wright said, Shore Lodge will never be my home. Putting me in here is as wrong as spraying Roundup on Shasta daisies. My mind casts back to how my friends and I have been there for each other through good times and bad, like the night Dusty was caught by the police in 5th grade breaking into a house under construction, or when Rose bombed a chemistry test in high school and was in tears, worried she wouldn't get accepted to college. When Bernice's longtime partner left her for someone she met at work, we helped her through it, telling her how great she is, which is no lie. Bernice is an amazing woman, running an escrow company and always willing to listen to anyone's problems. I love her quick wit, sharp as a sickle. We were there for Fred when his business partner was ill and he was worried and exhausted from doing all the work. I've always wondered what Mary's hidden weakness is because we've never had to support her through a crisis. She might not have told us, being a private person, or maybe nothing has rocked her world with a 7-point magnitude earthquake. When I say, "I'd like to see my friends," Ms. Wright doesn't move. She's treating me like a parcel to be moved from room to room, charging by the day for storage. How low have I sunk to need permission to see my friends? While she waits for my son to respond, I say, "Let them in." Ms. Wright doesn't look my way. Dusty says, "Bring them in. My mom is a very social person. Her friends mean a lot to her." I shake my head at how he's speaking as if I'm not in the room. When I get out, I'll cut him out of my will and keep my distance. He won't be able to hurt me again. But as angry as I am, I'm torn. He's my son, and part of me still loves him. 20. Jacqueline. In comes Bernice wearing a ribbed white turtleneck, a black skirt, and short boots. She's a big believer in buying white or black clothes and says it makes it easier to pick out what to wear. She must have closed the office early to come see me. Mary follows behind, wearing a blousy floral shirt with faded jeans and worn orange sneakers. She's an artist and works from home. Her paintings make me feel like I'm seeing a sunset for the first time. I'm so relieved my friends are here. I rush over and hug them. "Thanks for coming. You guys have got to help me get out of this place." The door closes and locks with a loud snick. My son stands in front of the closet. He may appear innocent, but I bet if we looked inside, he'd have a raccoon latrine instead of a heart. He'll never trick me into trusting him again. I want my son to leave so I can talk to my friends about how I'll get out. If they can't help, I'll use their phones. As I turn to Dusty, my heart pounds. "Would you please step outside? I'd like to talk to my friends in private." "I'll stick around, thanks," he says, looking relaxed. So, it's going to be a supervised visit, is it, with my son treating me like a criminal? Well, I'll accomplish what I need to, even though he'll be in the same room listening. Glancing at him, I'm skewered with disappointment at how he's turned into being my jailer. Pointing to the bed and a plastic chair, I say to my friends, who are pale and grim, "Take a seat. I need your help." Mary speaks in a tight voice, which is unlike her. "How's the food?" "Fine." Bernice taps her fingers on the windowsill, looking restless. "That twin bed is small. I expected a king-size bed with fancy furniture." I've been demoted to a secure room without the frills. Enough of the small talk and pretending nothing is wrong. They may be hesitant to speak frankly in front of my son, but we need to talk about my rescue, right now. I've got to get out of this place. Will you help me? Bernice stands at the window while Mary perches on the edge of the bed. They're not smiling and don't answer right away, so I know something's off. My hands turn clammy as I worry my son may have blocked any efforts by my friends to get me released. From their silence, I get the feeling they can't help me. I'm on my own. "Listen, you know I shouldn't be here. It's clear I'm of sound mind, so call the police and tell them I'm being held here against my will." Bernice glances at Dusty, who stares at her in a direct, challenging way. I hold out a hand and say to Mary, "Let me use your phone." When she doesn't answer, my chest constricts. "Surely you can do something." I had hoped we'd be headed to Millersville soon. We'd stop at Anderson's by the ferry and toast to my jailbreak with beer or a bottle of champagne to celebrate me getting my life back. I'd be cracking jokes about Dr. Henderson's goatee, so expected, imitating Ms. Wright's condescending tone of voice and laughing with those I love. "We can't get you out today," Mary says, "but we're working on it. I'm so sorry." Bernice holds up her hands. "We're doing everything we can. Believe me, we want to help as much as you want us to." I say, "Can't Fred work his legal magic?" Dusty crosses his arms and clenches his jaw. Uh-oh, that's not a good sign. My son does that when he's made up his mind and won't be talked out of a decision, no matter how unsound. When he started building a spec house and wanted money from us after the housing market crashed, I told him, "Don't get over-leveraged. Focus on staying afloat." He swore under his breath, got up from the couch, and stormed out. After that, Albert and I didn't hear from him for a week. My son says, "We're following doctor's orders by having her live here. It's a family matter, and I don't care to discuss the details behind this decision." "It's not a family matter," I say with a lump in my throat. "It's my life. It's my choice." "Dusty," Bernice says in a stern voice, "your mother wants to leave this facility. Release her today and she'll go home with us." He stares at his new leather work boots in silence. My heart flutters. He can't keep me here. It would be cruel. "That's right. I'm going home with them." "We know your mom was down after your dad's death," Bernice says. "Anyone would have been in her situation. She'll recover." The support from trusted friends makes me smile. Dusty walks over to Bernice, looming over her. "Are you questioning Dr. Henderson's treatment plan? He says if she wants to get better, she must cooperate and stop breaking the rules." Bernice says, "Would you like some advice from an old family friend?" My son shakes his head. "Nope, we're doing what's best for our mother." With a sigh, part of me drifts away to an imaginary place to numb the pain. What's happening in this room can't be real. In my mind, I'm hovering above the trees in the store's back lot, soothed by a gentle breeze. The sound of Mary clearing her throat snaps me back to reality. Putting my sweaty palms together, I say, "Bernice and Mary, I'm of sound mind, but Dusty admitted me to this facility. I'm being held against my will. I want to change my power of attorney. Will you ask Fred to help me with the paperwork?" Mary says, "Fred's working on it, but he's run into difficulties. He said it'd be easiest if Dusty released you. Dusty, we've known you since you were born. Your mother doesn't want to be here. This isn't right. You need to let her go." "Hell yes," Bernice said, putting her hands on her hips. "Let her go." I smile, sensing a change in the dynamics, and hope my son will decide to do what's right. My best friends will sway my son. I won't have to spend another minute in this dreadful place. "Let me go," I say. When I burst out cackling with laughter, everyone turns to me with wide eyes. I was thinking of a song. "If I stay here any longer, I'll lose my mind." Dusty rubs his freckled cheek. "This is a family matter, so you two need to stay out of it. Now, I'd like to talk with my mother alone. Thanks for coming. Goodbye." I stare at Mary and Bernice. "Do something, please. I want to revoke my power of attorney. Call Dr. Taft if you need to. He'll say I'm a little depressed, but I shouldn't be in here. I never gave my consent to be admitted." Dusty holds up a hand. "Dr. Henderson evaluated you and determined you need full-time care. I have power of attorney over your medical decisions, and I admitted you. We're following doctor's orders. You must live at the lodge." "We're working every angle to get you out," Mary says. "Fred will bring over a new document for you to sign. I bet you'll be out in no time, tomorrow at the latest." I hope so. "Just hang on," Bernice chimes in. I wonder if I can make it that long.